welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon, and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so please take a minute to subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss any videos. I would really appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up. It's a free way you can help me out, and definitely leave a comment because I like to read what you have to say. Since today is Monday, that means I get to introduce my Monday video companion, Joe, back to the show. On Mondays, my good friend Joe joins me and we discuss narcissism from both a female and a male perspective. So welcome back, Joe.
Hey, it's good to be back, Sharon. Glad to contribute to the channel.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're here too. So Joe, last week we mentioned that today's video was going to be about karma, specifically karma and the narcissist. So karma is a topic that touches so many different areas and thought processes that we just don't have the time to get into all of them. So for the sake of time, today we will talk about karma and narcissists. So Joe, you and I already spoke privately a little bit about karma, and we kind of summed up karma as you reap what you sow, correct?
Yeah, we did just a generalization of different religions, different philosophies, even science, Newton's law of cause and effect, all the way to the Beatles with John Lennon and karma. But yeah, there's a universal unspoken truth that, you reap what you sow, whether it's good, whether it's bad. And then you have the caveat, that exception to the rule, that crap happens to everybody. But yeah, it was agreed upon. Yeah, let's talk about karma because at least to us and many survivors, it's kind of like a universal truth.
Yeah, so essentially if what we're saying is that, good behaviors beget good things and bad behaviors would have bad things happen to you. So with that being said, a narcissist should always have a terrible life, right? They're terrible people, so therefore their life should be terrible. What about people who are involved with a narcissist? Because we were involved with a narcissist, does that mean that we did something bad to end up with this as our fate? Joe, what do you think?
Well, this kind of abuse, I don't wish it upon my worst enemy. Being an empath, in my experience, I am a flawed empath. I'm a recovered alcoholic and drug addict. Up until the age of 25, there's a lot of crappy things I've done to people. I've made amends to them since. Here's the thing, during this entanglement, I believe now that it was a blessing disguised as a curse. Had you have told me that a year and a half ago, 18 years ago, I would have said you're nuts. I probably would have had a few choice words to tell you. Here's the issue. I was not truly whole or healthy when I met this narcissist. I had codependent issues when I was younger, childhood trauma. Speaking of which, we all have, it's no excuse for the narcissist. There was unresolved issues, low self-worth. To be honest with you, had I not been entangled with this thing, I wouldn't have gotten to a point to address those. I would have still had this, I call it the God-shaped hole that I tried to fill with people, places, and things. I would have had unresolved issues, low self-worth, and I would have died, I call it asleep. This was a chance for an awakening. The issue is that many people don't get to the spot. God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. If I could do it, anybody could do it. But, some people die from this. Some people fall into a downward spiral of drugs and alcohol. I guess, and this is a big debate that could be, come into a heated controversy. But for me, now, aftermath, that I'm through it, even though it was a bad experience, it might have been a good karma for me, if I look at it with that perspective. But I don't wish it upon anybody. Sometimes I wish that it never happened and I could just stay asleep forever. Just that kind of abuse it was horrendous. It's just, you guys know, it's horrible.
Yeah, I agree. Narcissistic abuse is by far the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. It was horrible. When I was with my ex, my life was literally a living hell. It was a nightmare. And you're right, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And it's hard, I'm like you, I'm certainly not a perfect person, but in my own opinion, I don't see what I could possibly have done in my, prior to being with my ex that would have resulted in this type of bad karma. But then also, like you, ultimately, in a weird way, being with my ex resulted in me having a much better life now that I'm away from him, now that I've done work in recovery. And it kind of reminds me I was listening to Derek Prince earlier today, and he was talking about how God tests people, and that, the problem with being tested is you don't know how long the test is going to be. And he was talking about some of us get through 29 days and we give up. We didn't know we had one more day. And maybe that's how it is for people that don't get through it, that give up, that end their lives. I don't know. I don't know if maybe it is a good karma for people to get through this to the other side, but not everybody does. I don't know. But it was horrific. It was so bad. So, yeah, it's a hard thing to say. I don't know. But Joe, you and I have had the fortunate experience of watching our exes reap what they sow. That doesn't happen to everybody, of course. Now, Joe, I know that you have more than one experience with a narcissist. So could you tell me a little, or tell us a little bit about where you are today compared to your ex-wife, but also what other narcissistic experiences that you had and what you witnessed with them as well?
Yeah, thanks, Sharon. I was a magnet to narcissists, probably because when I was raised, my father had left my brother and I to a narcissistic mother that was an alcoholic. And God bless her. She taught me many good things. I'm not here to demonize my mom. She did the best as she could. She came from a troubled childhood and family. You're told as a 12 or 13-year-old, you're the reason why your father left, and I wish you were never born. And the alcohol abuse and just the mental and emotional abuse. As I got older and I didn't need her as much, she started to deteriorate even more, to the point where the first narcissist in my life was my mother, and she had taken her own life. She had committed suicide. Later on, in my late teens, early 20s, I met a girl. She was a narcissist. She was a victim, covert narcissist. Those strings I cut, and she became a drug addict and was pretty much desperate for life. Another female I got involved with a little bit came from a prominent family, very wealthy. She was an attorney, had everything that she needed. I started learning about narcissism then, about 4 or 5 years ago. I cut the cord on her. I put up boundaries during the love bombing phase, and it was not pretty. And eventually, I would see her, and I'm telling you, it looked like she had aged by 20 or 30 years. It looked like she was just that decomposition, and they call it mortification, technical term in psychology, where they're dependent on you like they're dependent on air. They need you to breathe. They're constantly in survival mode. Which brings me up to my ex-wife, married for 20 years. I eventually pulled the cord to that generator. I stopped giving her that admiration, that attention, that narcissistic supply, they call it, and she started to deteriorate. The control and the dictatorship and the no contact, it just put a stop to that. I had to hang on for my dear life, but they need us. I told you that greatest comment they gave me was, you need me, we don't need you. That's a lie. Like everything else that comes out of their mouth. As soon as you cut that cord, you see in reality that they needed you the whole time, and they will deteriorate.
So where is your ex now compared to you?
Well, she got a great job at a hospital. She lost that job. She had an apartment, lost that. Don't have enough money to make a car payment, so the repo guy's after her, and she's on the streets. She's a drug addict, and that no contact isn't like a offensive move. I didn't do it to punish her. It was a defensive move made to protect me and my children. They do that silent treatment and stuff. It's like an attack. It's just, I'm not like that. I don't want to cause anybody any issues at all. It's just, I stopped giving her what she wanted. I stopped believing the lie. And, she was very arrogant and demanding and threatened me with many things. And she lost control. She lost control of me, and she's lost control of her life.
Yeah, that's, what Joe said is the truth. For anybody who's still with a narcissist, and I know you might think to yourself, well, yeah, maybe you're a narcissist, but not mine. It is the truth. we, the people with the narcissist, really have all the control. Everything is down to the narcissistic supply. They almost like brainwash us and make us believe that they have all the power. Every bit of power that a narcissist has, it's because we give it to them. For me, similar thing to what Joe said, when I stopped giving my ex narcissistic supply, he melted down. Now, it didn't happen overnight, but over time, once I stopped giving him supply, this man went into such a terrible spiral. I mean, he ended up in a mental hospital. Today, the difference between us is stark. I live in the house, I have my kids, granted, a lot of I'm going to have to sell my house. I'm not doing well financially because of secrets and lies that he kept from me, but I'm working on that. I'm improving. My life is so much better. I have the kids, I'm living my life, I have friends, I have Joe. It's so much better than it was. If I compare that to where my ex is right now, he tells me that he's homeless. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what his living situation is, but I can tell you he's not living a good life. Whether he's actually homeless or not, maybe he's renting a room somewhere, or he's in some cheap motel. I don't know. He's not living in a home with his children, with his family. That's not his life at all. He has gained so much weight. And the thing is, with my ex, he was already overweight. And then to put on the weight that he has, he looks terrible. He has no control over his life anymore. The control he had was having me believe that he was like my dictator and I had to do whatever he said. And I was afraid of him all the time. I was afraid of upsetting him. So if that's you, I get it. Back in the day, when I was still under full control of my ex, if you had told me, no, Sharon, you actually have all the control, I probably wouldn't have believed you. I probably would have said, no, well, maybe in your situation, not mine. I have to do this, or he's going to give me a silent treatment, or he's going to hit me, or he's going to do this or that. It's not true. I mean, they might do that initially, but over time, I promise you. And Joe, you can back me up here if you agree with me. We hold all the power. Do you agree?
Yeah, control is an illusion, even for empaths. Here's the thing. Narcissists need us like they need air. They need supply. They need that outside validation. Us empaths, we don't. We have it. It's internal. It was just the way that we're wired from our creator. When you realize that you can't change the narcissist, hell, I realized I couldn't even change myself without God's help, God of my understanding. But when you get to the point where you cut that damn cord off and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that your life's totally unmanageable, and you're desperate to the point where you cry out to your God or to the universe or whatever it is, please help me. When you realize that you were part of the problem, that hell yeah, like you take accountability for your part, not that you deserve that. When you start working on your recovery, you start to realize, and you give time, like you don't quit before the miracle happens. These guys got a playbook. The power that we have when you learn about NPD is you have their playbook. They all think, act alike, even their karma. It happens to all of them. And not everybody gets to witness that, but I have witnessed it with every single narcissist in my life. I've seen them decompose and deteriorate over time.
Yes, I agree that truly. Please, if you're still with a narcissist, I know it's scary, and I know you're thinking, no, it can't be this way. Like Joe said, give it time. If you cut off that supply, you are suffocating them. You're cutting off their air supply. Now, Joe, you actually touched on something a minute ago that I want to talk about now. So we just mentioned that you and I have had the experience where we have actually been able to witness our exes, decompose, as it were. What about people that don't have that experience? What do you think about that? Could you talk a little bit about that? What's really going on?
Yeah, because there was a point, Sharon, where I didn't see it. It took me sometimes, it took years. Sometimes it took months. So what I had to do at that point when I didn't see it was I came to realize and believe, as I studied narcissistic personality disorder and listened to the thousands and thousands of people that have been under it, I believed them. Everything that they said was true, from smear campaigns to silent treatments to the way they acted. They have a playbook. Here's the thing, and this is the truth. Narcissists live their karma every day. When they look in the mirror, they hate themselves. They are in so much pain and turmoil that they need to find somebody else because they're like a garbage can piling up loads of garbage, and they need to get some of that garbage out to empty the garbage can. And unfortunately, we empaths are, what they do it on, what they dispose of. It just, knowing what they're all about, they have no interior generator to give them the necessary tools to live life on life's terms for themselves. They have to have somebody else in order to do that. Secondary, tertiary supplies, but their life is absolutely miserable. So I had to believe in you guys before I could even believe in that or myself. And when I put that no contact into effect, and it was little steps. It wasn't just overnight cold turkey. I wasn't in a position to do that. I had 2 kids. They had to be baby steps. The point is that when I started working on myself and the codependency issues and the low self-worth and low self-esteem, and I started getting stronger, it's that universal effect that enemy of yours that made themselves an enemy. Like, God don't like ugly. He really doesn't. And to me, I had to have some kind of a faith. I was beyond human aid, and I had to trust in that faith. And the more I got, through the things that I thought were going to kill me and just hung on, the more they appear that they're doing great, but it's all an illusion. It's all a lie. It's all a con. It just is.
Yeah, I agree. They're living very fake lives, and when we're with a narcissist, we buy it. That's part of the con, like Joe said. They convince us that we need them. It isn't the truth. They have like a house of cards, and they're always afraid it's going to fall down. That's why, if you have an experience like me, my ex would give me a silent treatment when I found out that he lied to me about something, because then all of a sudden, wait a minute, you're not playing the game right. You're not supposed to notice this, or if you do, you're certainly not supposed to say anything. If I thought, back in the day when I first ended the relationship with my ex, if he went on and I was watching him have this super happy life, or it appeared like he was a happy life while I was suffering, I would have still been playing the game. They want us to think that way. That then they're still having control over you. They're controlling your own thoughts on everything. The truth is that narcissists burn so many bridges, and probability really favors a narcissist being ruined, because Joe's right. They have to look at themselves in the mirror. Narcissists are terrible people. They know the things they're doing. I mean, they know, just like you or I know if we're telling a lie, they know also. They just don't care. But they know this. They know who they really are, and they're doomed in that way. They can never truly be happy. If you think about the most important things in life, right? If you ask me, Sharon, what's the most important things in life? It would be love, happiness, and security. Those would be the most important things to me. A narcissist has none of that. They can't love. They don't know how to do that. It's not possible for them. So they can't be happy because they don't have a real personality. And there can be no security for a narcissist because they're always telling lies. Their little house of cards can fall down at any time. They're not living a real existence. Imagine living like that. I would be absolutely miserable, truly. The ultimate revenge is living well. I mean, it sounds like the most basic thing, but it's the truth. We can move on and have good, happy lives. Gosh, like 2 years ago, if you had told me that I would be where I am now, it would have seemed like a miracle. No, you can't be talking about me. But it's true. Everything changed when I cut off supply to the narcissist. Joe, is that similar to you?
Yeah, and let me stipulate from my experience about karma. It doesn't care if the narcissist cares or not. You do bad, you're going to get bad in return. The narcissist, I don't think, like in their heart of hearts, consciously, they don't care about karma. They don't care about God. It's just, they're their own God, whatever they want to do, unconsciously, I believe. Karma don't care if they don't care about stipulations and this and that. It's coming for them. Like, it always goes back to the address from the recipient, the one to send it out. Regardless if they care or not, they get it. And I can promise you, If there's anybody out there that doesn't think so, they get it. I've seen it. I've seen it so bad, Sharon, that I didn't even wish it upon him. I didn't think things like that could happen. Like I wanted her erased off the face of the earth from the atrocities. That's what I call it, that she's done to me. And I see her now, I'm like, holy crap. I don't celebrate it. Like it's that bad. Where it's just like, holy crap. Like I try to stay as far away from the damaged site as possible. And it's happening every day. The downfall is just now they're starting to experience the pain that they've caused other people. And yeah, it's not pretty. It just isn't.
Yep, I completely agree, Joe. So tell us in the comments, have you seen your narcissist get their karma? Have they gotten what's coming to them? And actually, so this is going to be the end of the video. So Joe, you want to talk about what we're going to do next week, or should I mention it?
I don't know. Go ahead and mention it. What are you thinking? I'm not sure yet. I had a couple ideas, but what do you want to throw out there?
All right, this is what I was thinking. And certainly anybody watching, let us know things you'd like us to talk about. You know, Joe and I, we went away this weekend together and we were talking about our exes a little bit and the way that they think. So I was thinking, and it's very frustrating because you cannot wrap your head around the way a narcissist thinks. So in some ways, I'm glad I can't because I don't want to be in that mindset. But they live in this alternative reality. So I was thinking maybe we could talk about that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. We kind of put some bullet points down, but yeah, it's pretty, the arrogance and the audacity of, you know, like you said in your last video, it's just like nothing happened. You know, they reach out, they hoover, like everything is fine and dandy. Where if it was me and if I did that to somebody, I'd be running, I'd be hiding, not them.
Yeah, I agree, exactly. So thank you everybody for watching. Truly, I appreciate it. I know Joe does too. So please leave your comment. Let us know, like I said, anything that you would like us to talk about. We're certainly open to doing that. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week. God bless you all. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.